All right, this video is a practice of the quotient rule, and we're finding some tangent lines that are parallel to the line x minus 2y equals 2. So I have this function y equals x minus 1 over x plus 1, and I look at this function. I actually graphed it, so let's kind of graph it. And here it is. And I already know the answer and did this, but when I graphed it, I see where I possibly could have a spot where they could be parallel, and this is where they are. And the graphing calculator goes through all this. So I'll do the steps with you as well to make sure you know how to do this. But I actually can find the tangent lines and the derivatives at the point. So I want you to check that after you're done. So the first thing is, there's my function. And they said, can you find the equation of the tangent line? So I know I have two of them. So I'm going to use y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. So that's what it says, tangent lines. And they want it to be parallel to the line x minus 2y equals 2. So the first thing is parallel. That talks about slope. So I'm going to figure out what the slope of that line is. So we're going to solve for y. So I move this over here, move this over here. So I have 2y equals x minus 2. Then I'm going to divide through by 2. And when I do, and remember there's like a little 1 right here. So I have y equals 1/2 x minus 1. Now, I really don't care anything about this except for the slope. So when I do my tangent lines, I already know the slope right here is 1/2 because they said they want us to find the equation of the tangent lines that are parallel to this line. So I know the slope's 1/2. So this is a little bit different than we've done. Instead of me giving you a point, I told you the slope has to be 1/2. So what I have to do to that function is actually find the first derivative and put it equal to 1/2 to figure out where are my x's. So I see that this is the quotient rule. So there's my f and g. So let's set it up. My f is x minus 1. My f prime is 1. Oh, that's not very hard. My g is x plus 1. My g prime is 1. So I'm going to put it in there. So y prime, that's what they gave us, is going to be f prime g, so that's x plus 1, minus f g prime. And be careful, if there's a binomial, put it in parentheses because, especially with the quotient rule, you have that negative all over g squared. So I have x plus 1 minus x plus 1 all over g squared. So all I did was distribute that negative 1 right here and change the signs there. And then I see my x's cancel out. So I really have y prime is 2 over x plus 1 squared. So that's cool. I have the first derivative. Now, what I have to do is use the slope of 1/2 and put it equal to 1/2 to figure out where are my x's that give it a slope of 1/2. So I'm going to cross multiply. So I have x plus 1 squared equals 4. If I take the square root of both sides, be careful. Remember, there's always a plus minus. So I have x plus 1 is plus or minus 2. Subtract 1 on both sides, so I have negative 1 plus or minus 2. So let's split that up. Negative 1 plus 2 is a 1. Negative 1 minus 2 is a negative 3. So those are my x values. So I have the point 1 something and 3 something. So there, I can put that. Now I have to find the y's. Well, since those points are actually on my graph, I actually have to plug it back into my original. So my original is y equals, so it's x minus 1 over x plus 1. It's above there, you can't see. So the first time is I'm going to plug the 1 in. So y equals 1 minus 1 over 1 plus 1, that's 0 over 2, or 0. So the first point is 1, 0. Then I'm going to plug in the 3. 3 minus 1 over 3 plus 1, that's 2 over 4. Excuse me, 3, what have I got here? I'm thinking 3. Oh, I got to plug a 3 in here. I'm using 1. I'm sorry. I got going too fast. So let's try this again. Let me plug that in, see if I did that right. So I'm using this one, so I'm going to plug in a 3 because that's my other, oh, excuse me, this is negative 3. No wonder it's confusing me. So I'm going to do negative 3 minus 1 all over negative 3 plus 1. So that's negative 4 over 2, or negative 4 over negative 2, or a positive 2 there. Sorry. Okay, now I have my points. So now I can do my tangent lines pretty easy. So I have y minus y1. So we're going to use this first point here. So y minus y1, so it's going to be y minus 0 equals, I know the slope is a half because that's what we put it equal to, x minus 1. So I have a half x minus 1. And you can distribute this if you want, but there's my first tangent line. The second tangent line, I have y, and I'm going to plug this point in, y minus 2 equals a half, still use the same slope of x plus 3. I'm going to add 2 to both sides, so I have y equals 1 half x plus 3 plus 2. And again, you can multiply that all out to make sure that you can check it on your calculator. So when I did this on the calculator, as you can see, I already did it. But the first thing you're going to do is do menu, analyze graph, and then you're going to do your dy dx. I've done this on a couple videos. After I click this, then I'm going to plug in the 1 and the negative 3, and it will tell me right on my graph. So let me escape so you can see what we're doing here, that the slope is 0.5 at negative 3 and the slope is 0.5 at 1. Okay, and then I did menu, geometry, and I did points and lines, and I hit the tangent line, and then I hit those points after I hit that, and it gave me the lines. So again, you can check all of this on your graphing calculator, and if I multiplied the ones we just found out, that's what they would be, and that's how you do that one problem.